I'm Ian Tidswell, starting off news this Monday evening. Throughout the 11-year history, the Bordertown Hog Chapter has raised over $630,000 for their toy run, and they're already seeing strong support for this year's fundraiser. On Saturday, they presented checks to several organizations from funds they raised through the toy run. Nonprofits like the Youth Center, Lloyd Sexual Assault Center, Kids Sport, and the Olive Tree were among some of the recipients. Others, like the school division's breakfast lunch programs and Big Brothers and Big Sisters, also received a generous donation.
With COVID, funding has been a bit tougher, so always fantastic to get the support we receive from the community and from the toy run. And all the proceeds we receive go towards mentoring programs in our agency. So that's our matches and any extra programs that we run. So it definitely stays here and supports the children and youth in this community.
The Bordertown Hog Chapter hopes to always keep their toy run funding aimed towards supporting youth in the community. They have not only donated to local organizations, but supported other charities as well.
Just trying to help out, felt that there was a need in Lloydminster or a want to do something like this in Lloydminster and try to help out the youth, and that's just kind of how it got started 11 years ago.
It's like we just donated $13,000 to between the Catholic School Division and the Public School Division just for lunch programs. So just feeding the kids, make sure they have a full belly to help them learn.
We've sponsored Ronald McDonald houses in Edmonton and Saskatoon also. They're not local, but a lot of our kids from the community also attend those facilities, so it's great to participate and provide for them. So.
Next year's toy run will be in September, and people can check out their Facebook page for more information as well. The Lloydminster Comprehensive High School is holding the 25th Rudolph Roundup to raise money for items for Interval Home.
Yeah, so this year is actually the 25th anniversary, so we've been doing it for quite a while. And it's really important, just, we're providing for our community, and this is going to the Interval Home and helping women and children who are feeling domestic violence. So I think it's a really important cause to support.
We had our 12 main kids for the committee got to go to the Interval Home and see the inside of it and to see how powerful our role is. We raise supplies for the whole year in regards to sanitary pieces, but also blankets. And then for Christmas, the belief is that every kid should have a Christmas present. And of course, there's 12 families at a time they're in the home itself, but they also look after all the families who've been there last year, 2, 3 sometimes. So it's make sure we make every Christmas as special as we can.
They are collecting items for all ages, from babies to teens.
Number one piece is like for young children, so diapers, clothing, winter supplies. We always have trouble getting stuff for like kids, like teenagers. So we're suggesting like passes, movie passes, swimming passes, gift cards to Kohl's, and so forth. So really, though, if you're a young person, what would you want if you were in this scenario? You had to leave your house overnight and had just the clothing on your back. What would you want? What would you need?
Various businesses have stepped up to help by putting collection boxes in their stores.
We have over 20 different businesses offering to have boxes for us, including Winners and HomeSense and one of the Tim Hortons, and there's a whole bunch of different places. We really, this year, being the 25th anniversary, I had my kids. I have a really big leadership class of 72. Every kid had to go and try to find one business that would support it. And so we have already 22 to 25 already, and maybe we'll get a few more this week. But boxes are already out or will be out next day or two to go to those businesses and support the business and then support the cause.
This event is a way not only for students to get involved, but the whole community to get together to make a difference for those in need.
For students, it's good to see that the world is bigger than the bubble they live in. Whether they have come from a great family or a complex family, school is just one part of their lives. And we live in a box, so we see what we see. And especially during COVID, I think kids really learned that, which is why the leadership group has grown so much, because people want to get involved more. And what I find with this activity, doesn't matter what kind of students I have, they all understand this one's important, right? Some kids like dances, some don't, but when it comes to this one, everybody does. As for the community, Lloyd's not a big city, right? It's not a small one anyway either, but if we look after ourselves first, the community should be the main goal in my mind.
I think just the biggest message is to like everyone has their own situation, but the important thing is to, if you can, just to provide maybe one item or something small, or if depending on if you can bring something bigger, and just to help support the community.
For more than 30 years, the Christmas Craft Show has been a staple of the holidays here in the border city. I went down to speak to some of the vendors about the show. The annual Christmas Craft Show has a dedicated community of vendors. Some are brand new to it, while others have been coming for almost 3 decades.
This is our second year.
This is the first time I've been at this sale, so
I've been coming here every year for the last 10, 15 years.
We come here, every year for 15 years.
Coming here about 22 years, displaying our furniture for sale.
This is our second year coming to this event, and actually it's been really good.
Oh, as long as I can, honestly, probably 20, 25 years, as long as the show's been going on pretty much.
The products they have are as diverse as you can imagine. Candy, massage chairs, honey, beer, and more. But one thing everybody seems to have in common is excitement for next year.
We'll definitely be coming next year because, people keep looking for us and they're so happy. Oh, we found you. You're here.
Come and see us next year. We're always here.
Yeah, another great year, and we'll be back again next year.
I want to thank Lloydminster for all the support over the years, and hope we'll see them again next year.
Now it's time for this week's edition of Retrospect.
We start our look back at this week in retrospect in 1992, with the optimism felt by officials once the construction on the Lloydminster upgrader was fully complete.
Production at the bi-provincial upgrader has already surpassed expectations, with more than 2.5 million barrels being pumped out since July. Now, with construction complete and operations nearing capacity, upgrader officials are ready to celebrate.
When we started construction 4 years ago, this was the day we're looking forward to.
Vic Juba is one of 18 people preparing for the grand opening ceremonies. The 3-day event will feature everything from a public function tomorrow night to bus tours on Saturday and Sunday. Juba says it's a way of saying thank you to the shareholders for bringing the project to Lloydminster.
It's here, it's now. Certainly it's something that a lot of people figured never would happen. But it has, it's here. If you look at the skyline at night particularly, it's highly visible.
Notable luminaries slated to attend include MPs Mazinkowski and McKnight and Premiers Getty and Romano, amongst others. For Juba, the weekend signals the start of his retirement.
But it's a culmination of, I guess, my career to see the upgrader open, to be a part of it, to know it very well, and to know have met a lot of the people that are working there. So rather than looking at a chunk of iron on the skyline that really is foreign to me, I feel very much a part of it. So
Michael Higgins, Oil Week.
And fast forward to 97, the upgrader plays a key role in a partnership to help Sask Power.
It's a partnership between two giants to help another giant in trouble. Several months ago, Sask Power announced it doesn't have enough electricity to keep up with its projected growth in population over the next few years. Husky Oil and TransAlta put in a bid and won the tender. This is great news for the Lloydminster area.
Well, Husky's committed to the local area, and they're looking at their cost structure and certainly keeping the cost down to be competitive. TransAlta's in the business of producing cogeneration plants, so it's a natural marriage. 2 products, so steam and electricity. The steam will be sold to the BPU, the bi-provincial upgrader, and the electricity to Saskatchewan Power.
The plant will be constructed right at the bi-provincial upgrader because the steam house and connections to Sask Power are already on site. Officials believe there will be minimal impact on the area, but they invite residents to come out and voice any concern.
We'd like local residents to come out to these meetings to find out about cogen. We find that people just want to know what the project is all about, how big is it, what impacts it has, if any, on the area. The information will be collected, and if we can address the concerns directly of the residents tonight, we will. If there are no concerns, we'll welcome them to our project and talk about it, and we'll put together a summary of the information and provide that to Saskatchewan Environment. I'm very excited about the project. It's the first one for us in Saskatchewan. It's probably the biggest project of its type in Saskatchewan, so it's a new beginning with a new future.
Once the approval comes through, construction is expected to start in the spring of 1998. Around 150 jobs will be created over the 18 months building time. But once the facility is up and running sometime in 1999, it will be operated by existing personnel at the upgrader. Julie Matthews, NewsHour.
And that's it for our look back at this week in retrospect.
Retrospect this week is brought to you by Webb's Ford. Worth your while to drive the extra mile. Webb's Ford in Vermilion.
Our Jace Mackey sat down with Kim Crockett of B. Fisher ahead of their New Year's Eve event.
I'm joined today here on Primetime Local News with Kim Crockett from the B. Fisher Foundation, the B. Fisher Center.
That's right.
Thanks for being with us today, Kim.
Hey, thanks so much.
So the main reason we're talking today is the New Year's Eve Gala that's going to be taking place on the 31st, obviously.
Right.
Kind of maybe take us through a little bit about what's going on for this year's event.
Sure. Well, a little bit of the history of it is we started back in 2019, and our plan at that point in time, we wanted to run 3 successive galas as a fundraising event to really do some real big improvements at some of the care homes that we have. And the idea that we landed on was to do these big galas on New Year's Eve. And typically what the evening involves, it's going to be a kind of an off-the-menu meal put on by the Lloydminster Exhibition Association, big dance, great entertainment, a few auction items, but really what we're trying to do is just be respectful. This is people's New Year's Eve, and so as much as we're looking to earn some dollars off of the evening for the foundation and for the individuals that we serve, as much as that, we want people to have a great time. This is their New Year's Eve and celebrate.
Yeah, some people can go out, enjoy New Year's Eve, but also support a good cause at the
Absolutely.
same time.
Yeah, that's right.
So you're saying this is the second annual event. You had to
That's
skip
right.
a couple years. How
Yes.
exciting is it to be back?
Oh, we're thrilled. And one of the biggest noteworthy things about all this is many of the people that helped us put together our planning committee that helped us put it together in 2019, most of them came back again. The fact that we had this gap in time didn't matter. They knew that it was an important cause. They wanted to get involved, and they just really had a lot of fun being involved with it.
That's awesome. Great to hear.
Yeah.
Looking back to that first annual event, how successful was it, and kind of what projects were funded with the proceeds of that event?
Yeah, we couldn't have asked for it to come off much better for our first crack at it. So many things went well with it. And through that very first fundraiser, the following summer we were able to reshingle 3 homes at 3 of our care homes, put a large deck on another one, did a landscaping project one and helped take care of some water issues that were coming into a basement at one home, something many homeowners in Lloydminster are sometimes aware of. And then the really biggest one that we were able to do is completely renovate a basement suite around the needs of an individual that lived there. And it was such a treat. I had an opportunity to meet this person's mom sometime after we finished the renovations, and for her to just share with us face to face what a difference it made for her child to have a place really designed around his needs. It made a big difference and really reinforced this is why we're doing what we're doing.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
What happens from the proceeds of this, right? The impact that it's going to have.
It was like a face-to-face before and after with a lot of emotion attached.
So the proceeds of this event, is there any projects in mind that they're going to go towards?
Sure. So this upcoming one, the next priorities that we've identified is we've got 4 of our homes could really use some help in their kitchens, and so that's going to be the #1 priority coming out of this next one. Number of the homes that we have are individuals living in where we provide 24-hour care. In those homes, sometimes those homes, they're purchased, they work, but they could work better just to better meet the needs of the individuals that live there. And that's what we really want to do, is we want to set up kitchens, in this case, that really fit the needs of those individuals that live there.
That's great, and hopefully we can get a lot of people heading out to this year's gala. Can you kind of
sure.
take us through a little bit about how people can get tickets and maybe some of the options, if there's different ticketing options for this year's gala?
For sure. So part of it, like we were chatting before, is sponsors are such a huge part of an event like this, and there's some platinum, some gold sponsors that have come through since the very first year, and they've made 3-year commitments to say, we want to be involved with this. And I confess I had to just write down a couple notes because But Nissan Lloydminster, Fortune Oilfield Construction, Redhead Equipment, Border City Concrete, these four, they're our platinum sponsors, and they've come through to help us out right from the beginning, and they are planning to be there right through the end. And then our gold sponsors, Rustway Construction, Musgrave Agencies, Aztec Safety, and Speedy Glass, same thing. They've come through. And so, you know, in answer to your question, certainly sponsorship is a very large way, and individuals can certainly purchase tickets as well. And that's simply done right through our B. Fisher office, and that's located just across the street from the Co-op grocery store, and they can be purchased right there.
It's great to see community organizations coming and helping sponsor and make this event a reality.
Oh, absolutely. I think any of the organizations in town that have had the good fortune to have businesses come alongside them and help them through fundraising events or just help them with whatever projects that they're working on, we recognize that it takes an entire community to pull these events off and do the good work that we're all trying to do. And so when companies like this come forward, we just can't say anything more than just thank you, be very grateful, and just look forward to how they can help us do the primary work that we're trying to do.
And make a big difference here in this community.
For sure, that's right.
Awesome. Well, Kim, thank you so much for joining us today, sharing a little bit more about the gala that's taking place. And for anyone who's interested in getting tickets, head on over to the B. Fisher office, and they'll be very happy to help you guys out.
Great. Thanks so much, Jason.
Jumping into the world of hockey, the Lloydminster PWM Steelers held a 2-game series this weekend against the red-hot Calgary Fire. The Fire came out swinging in the first game of 2, scoring 5 goals en route to a 5-2 victory on Saturday. But it was a different story on Sunday as the Steelers came back with full-on effort, trying to end Calgary's 7-game winning streak. However, they came up short in a 2-1 loss.
We all worked together and we tried to stay positive, and we had hope. Like, we all, between periods, we discussed that we can beat this team and we are still in the game, and so I feel like it kept us motivated.
I think we did struggle a little bit in the first period, and then we kind of got the energy up and we kept going, and then in the end we worked better as a team in the second and third, and I think that's what helped us for them not to score.
The Red and Black will now hit the road for their next few games before they take on the St. Albert Slash at home on December 10th. Now let's take a look at your commodity prices.